So, you've been hit with the dreaded skinny fat physique. Take a long, hard look in the mirror today. This is the last time you're ever gonna look like this, because after this video, you're gonna have a clear path laid out for you, exactly what to do so you can never be in this position again and you can get a step closer to your goals every single day. In terms of skinny fat, what is it? It's a case of you being 20+% body fat, low muscle mass. Now, a lot of you think you're skinny fat, when in reality, you're just skinny. You're just not flexing your abs. So if you are truly skinny fat, this video is for you. Now, in terms of best practices, a lot of people say bulk, a lot of people say cut, a lot of people say recomp. But what is the best path here? Now, people that say bulk. So what's going to happen if you bulk? Yes, you're going to gain muscle. And logically, you want to have some muscle there when you cut down. So that's what a lot of people think. But what they fail to consider is that yes, you're going to build muscle, but you're going to be gaining body fat. And you're already at a high body fat percentage. You're going to be further and further away from looking like you lift. Now, you're also going to be in unhealthy body fat territory. So this is not going to be good for long-term health, mental health, because you're going to hate the way you look whilst you're in the bulking phase. Yes, you're gaining strength, but everything else about you doesn't look like you lift. You're not going to feel great. You're going to get out of breath in your sets. You're not going to be able to handle that volume. In terms of your hormones as well, you're crashing your tests. You're going to be crashing your hormones in general. And then guess what? At the end of that bulking phase, when you finally built that muscle, you're going to be cutting down for 6 months, 1 year. It's going to be absolutely brutal. It's going to be the most brutal cut you've ever done. And the more time you're out of a surplus and in a deficit, you're probably going to end up losing some of that muscle mass there. That's not what you want to do. And honestly, it's going to be a one-way ticket to lose your passion for training when you're in a cut for a year straight. That's not what you want. So, second up, we've got a recomp phase. Now, will this work? Absolutely. Will this be the most efficient? No. Recomp can be great if you are a beginner, which you will be if you are skinny fat, because this gets you used to hitting your protein. You're not gaining body fat. Because you're new to training, you'll be able to build some muscle as well. It's just not the most efficient way from A to B, but it can be a good course of action, especially in your first few months of training where you're just getting used to your lifts. You're just getting used to hitting your protein. In that case, your first few months, go ahead, recomp if you'd like. If the cut is going to be too much of a mental strain, straight away, a recomp can be a really, really good idea. Moving on to a cutting phase, which honestly is the best route from A to B. Why is this? Because when you're a beginner or you're someone who hasn't optimized their training, hasn't optimized their diet in the past, which most skinny fat people fall into these categories, you're going to be able to build muscle as you lose fat. Obviously, we have to work on technique. We have to be training hard. We have to be checking all these boxes, hitting our protein. But if you are cutting slowly, meaning you're losing 0.5 to 1% of your body weight each week, now you may be thinking, oh, if I cut down now, I'll just be a stick when I get there. Well, that may be the case. You are going to build some muscle on the way down because you are new to training. You are going to get stronger. You are going to get closer to looking like you lift, but you have to be accountable to the amount of muscle mass that you do have to end up growing in the future. You're not going to get massive on the way down from 20% body fat. But what you are going to do is set yourself up for long-term success. And that's what it's all about. You getting down to that 10, 12% before you start the bulk. Long-term, that is going to pay dividends massively. You're going to be in the best hormonal positions. That means your test is going to be at its highest. You're going to be feeling your best. You're going to be the most athletic. You're going to have your abs in. Then from there, once you've built that little bit of muscle on the way down, you got stronger, you learnt your lifts, you're setting yourself up in a great position there because you utilize that time effectively to learn your technique. Now, guess what? You can take advantage of that whilst on your bulk. If you were going straight into a bulk and you were a beginner, didn't really know what you're doing in terms of your lifts, you're probably not going to build muscle, likely to get injured. Like all of these factors come into play when you are trying to push the weights that you're lifting on poor form, or if you did learn the form on the bulk, you'd be wasting time because you wouldn't be gaining muscle, you'd just be gaining fat at that point. So if you are cutting, you've learned the technique on the way down, fantastic, 10% body fat, 12% body fat, now you can bulk. Now you can take full advantage. Now you can get stronger with good foundations without getting fat. You can keep a hold of your abs. And if your end goal is to have abs at the end of the day, a little bit of muscle mass, bit of muscle mass there, this is the best route for you, because that next cutting phase after a 4-6 month bulk isn't going to be excruciatingly long. Now you've built your foundations, now you've built your muscle, now your cut isn't huge. The outcomes are so much better for you if you cut first and then bulk. Now that we've got the solution, how do we set up the cut? Slow weight loss. 0.5% to 1% of your body weight every single week at most. Go any faster than this, all you're gonna do, crash your energy levels, crash your hormones, you're gonna feel terrible, you're gonna lose muscle mass. Slow weight loss, keep energy levels high, keep performance high, keep you feeling good mentally, that way you don't rebound. Protein, 1 gram per pound of body weight, but because most of you are gonna be overweight, look at the average weight for your height and use that as your 1 gram per pound rule. This way you're gonna recover, this way you're gonna be able to build that muscle in a deficit. Next up, weight training. It's gotta be at least twice a week, 3 times a week, ideally. You can go all the way up to 6 times a week, but those are the minimum targets. Learn your form, really learn your form, because obviously if you've got little muscle mass right now, it's because maybe the training wasn't on point or you haven't trained at all in your life. Take your time to learn your form. This is going to set you up with the best foundations possible for long-term results, long-term muscle gain. If you try and build from poor foundations, you're going to end up with poor muscle growth and injuries over time. So set yourself up now, sacrifice a little bit of strength gains now, learn your form, get things right, long-term success goes like that. And I would, with your diet, of course, make it feel as seamless as possible. Use your higher volume foods, like your berries, like these higher volume foods, your lean protein sources. This is what's going to keep you feeling full, make you feel like you're not on a diet. That way you can mentally handle that cut when you first get into your training. That combined with higher step count. So we're looking 8K plus per day. That's going to make the diet seamless. It's going to set you up for success in terms of you can have more calories, so you feel good in the gym, get enough protein so you can build muscle, strength's going up, building muscle as you lose fat. Then when you get down to 10%, 12%, then you can start the bulking phase. And as always, if you want me to take out the guesswork completely, to take you from skinny fat to fit in 12 weeks, hit the application button down below and let's jump on a call.